Okay everybody, I'm going to make the bechamel sauce for the vol au vent cases. I'm going to make chicken and ham vol au vents. Hopefully they'll turn out okay. It's a little bit shy today. Now I don't do weights and measures with anything, so but I'll show you what it should look like. It should help you work out flour and butter proportions and whatnot. So anyway, in a big pot, I'm going to just throw in a lump of butter. Butter. We're going to wait for that to melt down, and then what we'll do is we'll add some flour, and that'll be the base for our bechamel sauce, along with the milk. A little bit earlier on, I just went through my fridge, and I had a block of cheddar left over, so I just shredded that down. I had some camembert left over, some four cheese bake that you normally use for your pizzas and whatnot, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese that I also had in a package as well. So I've made myself a good brew there. The more different styles of cheese you put in, the better the sauce comes out. Trust me on this one. Alright, so, and just use your old cheese. Just use all the old stuff, or buy whatever's on special at your supermarket, whatever you want to do. You can make this sauce on the cheap, but using good cheese, okay? And then we've got some plain flour which I've sifted. Alright, and that's going to be run through and go through the grain of the butter, and it's going to mix up, be the base. Then we're going to pour the milk in gently and keep it warm, and then what we'll do is we'll keep stirring, and the paste will just keep building up into a nice thick sauce. It'll be plain in flavour. That's when we want the cheeses in there, hard, okay? Now I usually tend to over batch whatever I do, just being Maltese I guess, but what you can really do is overdo it and then save yourself a large proportion and use that for your lasagna tomorrow night or something like that, okay? Anyway, so while I'm talking, this is all warming up. Starting to fry for a little bit now. I'll whack the heat up as far as I can for the moment. We don't really want a high heat when we do this, by the way, but I'm just trying to get the butter ready. Okay, so we have some melted butter. Slowly add some flour to the mix. Okay, we're going to just use your typical spatula for the minute, and we're going to mix it through. See how it's already turning into a paste? Okay, whoops, got you there. So we need to add a bit more because it's not pasty enough, and I might need to add some more butter as we go, and we'll keep going. Now, the only problem you've got with this is you need a certain amount of butter and a certain amount of flour to get the correct volume when you're making a full pot. So if you don't make enough, it won't turn out, and if you make too much, it'll just turn out really gluggy, alright? That is good for a small proportion, okay, but we want to go huge today. I've got lots of cheese to melt, and I've got things I want to make tomorrow with my bechamel. Good thing about gas, take it off the heat, heat's gone. Okay, so what I'm going to do is chuck in some more butter, and see how I'm doing. I'm building it up and just keep going as I go. The weights and measures, see you later. Alright, we're getting that fried off again. Here we go, sizzle, sizzle. You've got to wait till it's melted properly, okay, otherwise it'll just turn into one big glug ball. A proper bechamel sauce, a French style, they'll add a bay leaf, they'll add a couple of cloves, they'll add half an onion in there, and they'll just let this simmer and perkle for whatever long they do, an hour or so, and come back to it, remove all the stock taste out of it, and then we'll put the cheese in it. This is a very fast method. We've got lots of flavours going into it, so we don't have to be as pedantic as the French people are. We are Maltese. We need to cook quick and get it out of the way, alright? So here we go. So anyway, more flour. We'll give that a shot, we'll stir it in. Make sure that you do sift your flour. This will go absolutely grainy on you, and you will hate every bit of the component of it if you don't do it correctly, alright? So here we go again, I'll take it off the heat. A little bit too much heat charged into that. Okay, so I can tell straight away I need more flour. So there we go. And it's all good and well. If you add too much flour, whack in a bit more butter, vice versa. There we go. That's turning into that beautiful paste that I'm after right now. Taking it off the heat, and I'm just letting it do its own thing and fold into itself. Can't see it? Here we go. So it's turning into that paste that I'm after, okay? Alright, so there we go. That's the consistency you want, right there. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to put this on the heat again. And start adding our milk slowly. Don't just pour the whole half a litre in there because you don't know where you're at volume-wise and the thickness you want to get out of it. So let's go in gentle, pour by pour. Okay, so we're going to do that. And we're going to use that little bit of milk there to remove the grain out of the whole pot. Okay, so we're going to go in there and slowly. That's coming up really nice. I'm going to turn the heat down on this now. This is meant to be a gentle process. All right. So anyway, I'm a motor mechanic. Nothing's gentle. Give me a hammer. Okay. Gee, bleed mud, up. Okay. So anyway, here we are. I might just go a little bit harder this time around. So we're getting it all smooth. Okay. So I might switch tools here. I'll just go to your old-fashioned whisker. There we go. Just give me a moment and I'll show you what the pot looks like. There we go. As you can see, we're starting to form our bechamel sauce, right? Look at that. Okay. We need tons more milk because this is just a thick lug right now. And now the trick is now is to let it simmer in slowly. Continue stirring because this will stick to the bottom the second you turn your back on it, alright? So now we've pretty much made the base for a bechamel sauce. We're just going to wait for the milk to thicken up with the fat and butter content in there. Scrape the edges clean. You don't want any glugs in this at all, okay? So keep stirring, keep mixing the constant time, keep your eyes on it because it will turn your back on it for 2 seconds and you're gone, alright? You don't want it to boil, but you want it to be at a reasonable heat where everything just melts together, okay? So here we come. This is coming out really nice, by the way. I'll show you in a second. And then I'll show you the consistency has to be as a bechamel sauce. And that's why I don't use mates and measures because I can just keep adding and subtracting whatever I want to do to make this sauce work, alright? So, a bit of this and a bit of that. Look how good that's coming out, right? Now, the point being previously before, keep stirring away with the flour and butter mix because the second it goes grainy, it goes really horrible, okay? And it's just plain flour, years, not self-raising, not anything else, all right? This is coming out really good. There might be a chance that I might have wished I added a little bit more of the base mix, maybe a little bit more, but I've only got to fill half a dozen small bouillon cases, which is already going to have a bunch of meat in it, okay? So I'm not overly concerned about the volume today. It would have been nice to probably have a little bit left over to make something else with tomorrow, okay? But tomorrow's another day. So here we are, stirring away. Probably used about 650, 700 mils of milk at the moment. And this is just come out really nice. Really, really nice. Have a look at that. Okay, it's forming really well. Okay, and the longer I keep it on the heat for, the better it'll get. Okay, so I need this to get a little bit thicker before I even think about adding the cheese, alright? So I'll give that a moment to heat up a little bit harder. Temperature's about right, and I'll just clean up a little mess here as we go along. Sorry. This is my outdoor kitchen, by the way. I've got two kitchens. This is my alfresco, the back one. This is the one that I love exploding and experimenting in and mucking around because it's much easier to clean than the main kitchen. I can just use the blower gun in here to get everything off the floor or whatever I want to do and open the windows. It's a great little kitchen to have. Anywho, if any luck, I'll be moving house soon, so I'm probably going to miss this kitchen around a lot. I've had a lot of good memories in this kitchen. Anyway, so this is still going away a little bit. It's probably taking a little bit longer than what I wanted. But as you can see, the proper way to do this would be to let that just go nuts for about half an hour with your bay leaf, your onion, your cloves, whatever you want to chuck in there. And then that would be a proper French bechamel sauce. But this is just one that I want to make to just get some vol au vents out and on the table, okay? Now this is thickened up nicely. Now, if it hasn't thickened up to the way that you want it to, the next thing you would do is you would separately batch more butter and flour again and slowly pour this into the butter and flour again, okay? So there are ways around it. There's no such thing as a mistake. We can fix everything here, all right? So, and this is just coming out great. Okay. So there is a desired consistency, and I'll show you how it's done. If you watched a lot of YouTube videos yourself, that's where I get most of my ideas from. I'm no smart man. I'm only a motor mechanic. I just do this for a hobby. Okay. I watch a lot of YouTubes. I follow all the recipe channels. And then what I'll do is I'll get 3 or 4 recipes of one particular dish I want to make, and I'll just use a combination of what I like out of each recipe to make it my style. Okay, so whenever you guys ask me for recipes, it's very, very hard for me to tell you what I've done. Okay, as you can see, that's pretty hard to explain on paper, right? Okay, that's coming out great. So what you want is you're going to get that in, and then you're going to run your finger through it. See how it's all folding, coming back into itself? That's not ready yet, okay? It's got to stick, and when you put your finger in, it's going to be a definite line, all right? So we'll try again shortly. And we're going to keep stirring because I just saw a bit of grain in there, so let's just keep going nuts with the stirring, and this is coming out fine again now, okay? So I'm whisking away, getting some air into it, and now it's doing what it has to do. All right, so, okay, we're at the business end of all this now, so it's coming up nice. Look at that, it's thickening up as we speak, and we'll get there shortly. Yum. At this stage, if you want, you can add a little bit of crushed garlic. Your call. I think there'll be enough flavour in the roast chicken and the ham that I'm using. If you buy seasoned roast chicken from the supermarket, from the deli section, I like buying the seasoned roast chicken and put much more flavour to the raw ones. Today I just bought standard chicken with no seasoning or flavours in it, and the ham is just basically just diced ham or diced bacon, whatever they want to call it at the supermarket. Alright, here we go, that's thickening up so well. Look at that, and look how silky it looks, guys. Look at that, okay? Alright, so the trick is to keep whisking, don't let anything stick to the bottom, right? Made a lot of mistakes trying to get this sauce right in the early days, but now this comes as second nature. Okay, so we're nearly there with the consistency, right? See that? If I run my finger through that, it stays there, okay? And that's what you're looking for. See that? Nothing's falling into it, and that's the consistency you want. It's as simple as that, all right? So now, it's even thickened up since I just showed you that. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to throw in our mix of fridge cheeses, our cannon, whatever come out of the fridge. We're going to shoot the cannon of cheeses into this now. All right, this is just going to be too weak, so now we're going to go back to the spoon. Oh, yum. This is where it becomes amazing. All right, look at that. That's a real true bechamel sauce right there, guys. That's good for any lasagna or any eggplant bake you want to make, anything you want to do, all right? You'll never buy another jar of Dolmios again, all right? And the volume, you can just fill that right up, and it costs you next to nothing to do so, all right? Now, I could not be happier than this. Got nothing better to do with the cheese, so in it goes, all right? Okay, so what we have right now is the sauce. That's ready to mix with the vol au vents. Boom, in she goes. Okay, you get the idea now, guys? Look at that. That is going to make one fantastic vol au vent. Okay, they're going to be very moreish. Okay, that has couldn't have gone any better for me. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to let this cool down a little bit, and not too much because I still want to be able to scoop it with a spoon, otherwise it's going to go stiff and sticky on me. So the best thing I can do now is let it cool a little bit so I can handle it easier, and then I'll load the vol au vent cases and I'll show you what everything looks like when it comes back out of the oven.